Orège is a French company with international coverage, and the technology user is Yorkshire Water. The technology is SLG, a sludge conditioner that can be integrated with existing thickening and dewatering equipment. Yorkshire Water are applying SLG to primary sewage sludge. One unit was installed on site just a couple of weeks ago. It uses air and energy exchange to modify the structure of sludge and create an emulsion. The bound water is released and the SLG sludge floats. Adding polymers completes the flocculation process of SLG sludge, which is then treated by the dewatering equipment that's already in use on the plant. The SLG sludge is 6.5% dry solids and above, this from a variable feed of between 0.9 and 1.2% dry solids. The filtrate goes to the head of the works, so this water here is what they would have been tankering. Orège and Yorkshire Water gave a magnificent joint presentation at Utility Week Live last week, and I had a chance to speak to Tom Hall and Matt Gibson in person. Both companies have put a huge amount of effort into setting this trial up, so I asked them why, what makes this particular trial worth it, and what part it plays in their long-term ambitions.
Well, it's a really exciting trial from Yorkshire Water's perspective. So we're driven by a few things. Firstly, from a customer perspective, driving down bills, and that's measured in bioresources through pounds per tonne of dry solid. We're constantly looking at ways to drive down and drive forward on efficiency. And also when you add in our net zero commitments to be carbon net zero by 2030, then actually the pilot that we've rolled out at SEMA working with Orège and IL Utilities is hugely important for us in terms of driving our efficiency, but also driving towards net zero. Very exciting.
Working with Yorkshire Water was a great opportunity for us. We've rolled the technology out to some of the water utilities. Most of them have a different route to market. Excuse me. And we found that with the trial reservoir, that was hopefully a means to an end to get the technology adopted very quickly following a successful trial. A lot of the water companies are willing to participate in trials, but then subsequently it can be difficult to actually embrace the technology and have it installed and rolled out. And we find that the trial reservoir hopefully gives us a very fast route to market for that.
So for us, we have an ambition to be the leading bioresources company in the country, and that's all about driving down our comparative efficiency, driving down our cost per tonne of dry solid. This trial really helps us on that journey. I think when you add to that the one-upmanship that we get from actually being the first water company to actually go through the trial reservoir, I think it's really exciting for us.
I think that one of the things that we want to do is help the IL reservoir, trial reservoir, and the water companies to adopt the technology to help them to reach their net zero targets by 2030. The technology is instrumental in trying to reduce CO2, particularly by transportation movements and by the process on site. And for us, we're really excited to be part of that.
It's been a long journey to this point. 65 different people at Yorkshire Water had to be involved in setting up the trial and purchase agreement before Orège could even go on site. But the early results are really promising, and at the end of this trial, we'll be able to see what the carbon emission saving is going to be.